I'm just gonna show you guys something real quick. Look, King's Indian at your level is super fire. Your opponent plays d4. Yo, I gotta turn off legal moves. I put on legal moves for that meme. You know, you're gonna go here, 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 bishop g7, e4, d6, knight f3. Like sorry, not e5 here. What am I doing? In this position, 3 out of 10 of your opponents are gonna play d5. d5 is an objectively terrible move. Terrible move. Not a good move. I mean, it's not a good move. You're going to go a5. You're going to put your knight on c5. You're going to, attack the center. You're going to have a great game. Like, computer's always going to give some small advantage, but this is like... And then the best part is, when your opponent's castle, I really like this e takes d4 line. At my level, the e takes d4 line is pawn takes, knight takes, rook e8, f3, c6. Every single one of my opponents plays king h1 or knight c2, which is the top line of the computer. Every single one. And if you don't play this and you go for the main line King's Indian, which is castles knight c6, d5, knight e7, back in the day, like, Fischer would play this. If you look at games in the 1970s, Bobby Fischer just looked like he was playing against children. Literal children. Like, because his opponents, not to disrespect the Soviet greats, but, like, Bobby was so far ahead. And then, now, like, these 11-year-old children just play, like, b4, which is the top line. It's called the bayonet attack. You go a5, which is a move they take, rook a5, a4. Look at also games of Hikaru Nakamura. Dude, Hikaru played this position against grandmasters like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and this man straight up looked unbeatable. It was unbelievable the way he would just like move his pieces around on the left side of the board. It was like knight e1, and then he would go like knight e8, and then they would go like bishop e3, and he would play f5, and they'd play f3, and he'd play f4, and and then he would play like g5, h5, boom, boom, rook f7. Like he would just mate people. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Now your average 9-year-old kid who dropped out of school to play chess knows 30 moves of theory. I mean, it's awful. It's just, dude. I played in a blitz tournament recently. You guys are gonna see. I'm more on that later. I played in an over the board blitz tournament, right? I played the move d4. I was playing this kid, Indian kid, maybe 11 years old. He played d4. I went g6. I played this all the time in Title Tuesday. Looked up into the sky. I'm like, you're 11. What sky are you looking at? Bro did this. He was remembering his prep. He went e4. I went bishop g7, knight c3, a6. He played h4. I'm like, all right, everybody does this. Everybody plays this h4. So I play h6, right? You know what he plays in this position? He plays knight h3. You know what's crazy about the move knight to h3? It's actually a really like nice idea. He's trying to play like knight f4, put pressure. I actually found the top line over the board here, which is crazy. Because I'm a grown-ass man. And I got to play chess without memorizing things. The best move here is actually d5. All right? And I found that, right? And the idea of this move is that, you go knight f6, knight f4, and then b5, bishop d3. And apparently b5 was a huge mistake. I should have went c6. What the c6? b5, bishop d3. I went bishop to b7. Bro went here, I'm losing. I was losing in 9 moves to this kid. My bad. He didn't play that. He played the top move, which is this. I was losing in 9 moves to this child. Bishop g6. Pawn takes, not knight takes, knight e6. Queen d7, knight g7. I was losing. I played bishop d5. I was sitting at the board like, yo, if he just moves his knight out of the position, I think I'm cooked. 10 moves, I was losing to this 11-year-old. I was like, what the is this? And then, he blundered. Then he played here, which was not the top move, but it was bishop g2, rook g1, queen c7, rook g2, rook here. I played knight c6. He went queen d3. I went rook g8. I gave him this pawn, and then I had to fight back from this. I was straight up losing to this dude. I was like, how does this child know so much theory? I mean, it was ridiculous. Like, kids are on another level right now, man, and it's a little sad. All right, emote mode. I've been adding some new Carl Khan lines as well. It would be kind of cool to test them out. Okay. go here after a few seconds. And then when my opponent plays a3, I'm gonna go here, and now I'm gonna do the thing where I hesitate. I talked about this in today's video. And now they're gonna go here. No. They saw my video. Yeah. They saw my video. I couldn't catch them as easily. That would have been nice, though. Kind of want to throw in like a Zwischenzug. How crazy is knight e4? Just gonna take in castle, probably. This is low-key free, and high-key, maybe not. I like the position. I have these horses against the bishops. I can play like here, for example. The Scandinavian gives me some very nice solid positions, but sometimes they could be a little bit booty. What? Okay. I mean, this is hanging. Can I go here? No. This is lame. This is lame. Open file? I'm gonna go rook c8. It's a little passive, but I get my king to e7 pretty comfortably, and I stop c5, and I mean the position is just equal. There's nothing special here. White played fine. White didn't, blunder anything, so I wonder if Magnus would win this with black, but I kind of don't think so. But who knows? What do I know? Maybe he would be insulted that I said that. I feel like in these types of positions, g5 is almost universally a good move. Now it's just a matter of like, what else? h6 maybe? Keep the pawns on dark squares opposite the bishop. I should have probably went here. This is a very, very, very hard position to win. If I even can. I can see myself losing this. And I know you guys say don't negatively self-talk, but like, okay, that trade, I don't know if was correct. Rook g5 was also an interesting move. Maybe rook g5 was strong. This is the big problem. I like the two pawns versus the two pawns here, and I like, but this is very much a blitz endgame now. Ooh, that looks bad. What? What? Check, here, fork, here, here. That doesn't do anything. So let's attack this, and hopefully... doesn't even do anything either. Okay. Maybe this was a terrible move, because maybe I just helped my opponent. If here, rook c8, no? Don't I just stop the pawn? Looks like I stopped the pawn. The worst part about this is that I might stop the pawn and it's still not a win for me. My opponent might not know how to play endgames at all and might still get away with murder. Uh-huh. Like, this is the major problem. But actually, I have this and this. Which is pretty fire! Actually, this is not a terrible move. Which is unbelievable. Um, life is not fair. Life is not fair, man. Life is not fair. People shouldn't be this lucky. Okay. Very tense.